Okay then, good evening everyone, and hopefully we're live now on Facebook and also on YouTube. So if you're hearing me, if you can send a wee message to me, let me know that we're live. I think there's a few more people. Seven's beginning to gather up now. So evening everyone, and as I say, this is volume 8 of the Gaelic Psalm workshops that I've been doing with you over the last while. And I thought that tonight we've spent really the last 7 workshops concentrating on Kilmarnock and martyrdom. So I'm going to be doing another 3. So I was going to do 10 workshops in total. So Rona, good evening. And Jan, good. Daveen, Sutherland, welcome to you all. Thanks so much for joining us. So as I said, the last one that I'll be doing with you will be October the 6th in this series through English. Then I'm going to be doing some workshops through Gaelic, through the medium of Gaelic later on. But your feedback would be appreciated, and maybe we could carry on doing it if there's an interest at a later date, because we could do loads and loads of other tunes. But tonight, let's start with a new tune. And the tune that I want to do tonight is a tune called Martyrs, which is a very minor mode tune. And what I'm hoping to do is to spend some time just going through the melody of Martyrs and also giving some examples of Martyrs as sung, Gaelic psalm singing style. So I think what we'll do first of all, and if you're all happy with it, is that we'll start off. Let me put up the tune here so that we can follow the basic melody of the tune. And this is the way that I think is a good way to actually learn, to really have the melody totally embedded in your head, so that you know what these main notes are. And then we then start slowing it completely down and adding the grace notes of Gaelic psalms to it. So let me now just go through the tune and play along with the melody, and I'll point out the notes as we're coming to them. Here we go. Okay, now let me now sing that for you, and I'll use the words that we're going to end up using. Mehemiel fos Jerusalem, Gorstiatem fulmarisk, es charoniach jam naulige, yang husen uyan hask. Okay, let me do it one more time for you. A la la this time. La 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 la. Okay, now as you know, that setting can also be done in 4-part harmony. let me play this the way a choir would maybe do it. Okay then, is this a tune that's familiar to any of you? At the moment we've got 27 people here. Are any of you familiar with this tune, or is it a new tune completely for you? What I'll do now, I think, is I'm going to end up playing you a couple of examples of it done Gaelic psalm singing style. I'll put the words up. There they are, and let's have two examples of that being done. Okay. First of all, we'll have Alistair Graham doing it. Okay then, I'm going to now play the same psalm again, this time in a different setting. with a different presenter. Okay, so just what you can hear, and a different key as well, I think. Okay, so that's two really great examples, I think, of the tune Martyrs. So I think if we can imagine, we've got these two psalms in our heads at the moment. Let's now go back to the actual melody, and let's see if we can sing along to this. Da, 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 da. Let me use the words. Mehemechel fos Jerusalem, gorst die Atem fullmarisht, es charonach janalege, yang hutsen uayan. Okay, now that key that was sung in, the last one is higher than the music is written. Remember I mentioned to you that Gaelic psalm singing works really well, maybe a tone above the music as written for 4-part harmony. So we're actually here, down there. So we're going to do it as per the music, it would be Mehemechel fos Jerusalem, gorst die Atem fullmarisht, es charonach janalegen, yang hutsen uayan haisht. Okay, so what we've got there is that's the main melody, and I think over the last 7 weeks, I think most of you will know now the system. You basically take a basic tune and slow it completely down and then add grace notes to it. And also the other thing is that it won't be following exactly the time of all these notes, but it will be following the pitch of the notes. Okay, so na, so let me just get my point again. Ma, he, me, the fos. If you are following the music exactly as written, but in Gaelic psalm singing it would be ma, he, me, the fos. Now that's not at all following the note values of these, but you have got the pitch values as signpost notes there. Now, the other thing that I wanted to do just now, just to show you what's possible, is that a number of years ago, I was involved in recording it was really a mixture of the harmonies pretty much following the beat reasonably closely to what we've got, but also putting some grace notes in and also doing a presenting line. So what we had, and this shows you that Gaelic psalms can work with any of the psalms. So this is a recording that we did a couple of years ago where myself and my own daughter Belan, we ended up doing all the parts. We sort of multi-tracked them. So the two of us did everything on here and Belan actually did the presenting line. So just to give you a wee example of what can be done, but the reality is this is not really traditional Gaelic psalm singing, but it does show you what can be done musically. So let's give it a wee listen. Okay, so that gives you an example of what I've got up here, which is the four-part harmony. So basically what we did there was we did the four-part harmony, all the parts, and over and above that we did the presenting line. And I think this is something that the old style, for example, the style that is sung with choirs at the Mod, the setting that Joseph Mainzer. And I spoke about the history of the Gaelic Psalms on the first, I think it was the first program that I did, where originally, before the system that we've got now originated, there were tunes called, they were called the long tunes, and there were 6 of them. And what you had there was, in these long tunes, you had supposedly, as far as we know, the setting that the choirs do for French at the Mod is the last, or an example of it. Of course, we don't have recordings of all these years ago. And like I mentioned, I think the system that we've got of Gaelic psalm singing now, of the 2 lines, so that the presenting line doesn't start until the 3rd line, that is a relatively new thing, probably originating around 1900s. But prior to that, the system was that the presenting line started things off. So there is a setting, I'm sure some of you will know that, of the setting that the choir do at the Mod of the tune French. And I think maybe in the future that's something that I'll probably do in one of my workshops, where we compare and contrast that style of singing, the tune French, and the traditional style that we know of at the moment. Now, there was also a recording, and if any of you have it, I would love to get hold of it, because I know it exists, and that is the tune Evan that was sung by the Greenock Gaelic Choir way, way back with a presenter, a bit similar to what Belan did there. But it was done, and I think it was Alan MacLean or Alan MacLeod from Shawbust, and he sang Evan traditional wise, the traditional way, and then the Greenock Gaelic Choir sang it in that setting, that 4-part setting. So if anyone has got that recording, I would really love it, because I suppose you could say that it's a hybrid. It is very much in time, conducted by a choir, but over and above it we've got the grace notes as well as a presenting line. But the whole essence of doing these Gaelic psalm singing workshops, we could spend ages just going over things like that, but that's not really Gaelic psalm singing as we know it. Gaelic psalm singing as we know it is not a choir thing, it's a congregational thing. But sometimes it's good for people to know when people ask the question, where does it originate from? Well, I think by showing you that it all originates from tunes that are in the Scottish Psalter, looks like these, that I've got either that in staff or in solfa, in 4-part harmony, and like I said, the melody is, that's it, so that's the upper line. It's exactly the same as what we've got here. That line there, the soprano line, is the melody. And really that's where we start taking our Gaelic psalms from. So what we're doing is we're taking Mahimichal Fos Jerusalem. Now, we now start slowing this down. Mahimichal Fos Jerusalem. Even slower. Mahimichal Fos Jerusalem. And then you start adding your own style to it, and you don't stick to the exact tempo like da 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 da. Instead, you're going My Himmel fos Jerusalem. Let me try and see if I can point this as I'm singing it. My Himmel fos Jerusalem. And I carry on. Okay. Yours the atom full marisk. Okay, so that is from Michael Fos, Jerusalem, Gorstiat, Yatam full marisk. So around this area here, we do Gorstiat mare fulanisk. So there's a lot of weak grace notes coming in there. So Michael fos Jerusalem. Let's hear the start of. Now this is it'll be a different pitch. Michael fos. Okay. Michael fos Jerusalem. Now let's hear another one. Alistair Graham. Alistair. Michael fos Jerusalem. I think this type of minor sounding psalms suit the style so well. I think maybe minor modes are maybe even better in Gaelic psalm singing than the major, more happy sounding thing. I think martyrs I really like martyrs. I like the minor mode ones, like martyrs. I like Bangor, St. Mary's, all these minor mode psalms. So has anyone, I haven't been really looking to see what people have been saying, because I wanted to try and keep these reasonably short. Anyone got any questions? Yeah, I mean, they actually vary. Let me bring this up. The question that Davine says, in the example you played, it sticks closer to the basic tune than with Kilmarnock and Martyrdom. Well, yeah, that's questionable. I think that really depends on who you're actually listening to. Some people on all the tunes don't put a huge amount of grace notes in there. And there are other people that will put loads of grace notes in. And with the other thing that we actually do a lot is that we change maybe certain pitches. There are certain pitches in the key that in the Gaelic world doesn't go down that great, and so we sort of change it a wee bit. But I agree, really, in what I'm actually doing tonight. I think it sticks pretty close to it, or reasonably close to it. But I'm sure there are other examples of martyrs. I've only taken 2 examples. I'm sure there are other examples of martyrs that are done where it does vary quite a bit from the melody. But I think it's always good to have that melody in your head, and then the individual people can end up just putting their own grace notes. So Chrissy's asking, Mr. Start, which psalm? Yeah, Chrissy, we're actually doing a new tune tonight, and the tune is Martyrs, and the psalm is Psalm 79. Michael Falls, Jerusalem. So that's the one that we're doing, and we also did a version, Psalm 43. But this is quite a common psalm to it, and if you look at the translation of that, it's quite a heavy-duty psalm, because it talks about the destruction of Jerusalem, and where there was blood flowing in the streets, and so the subject matter of this psalm is quite heavy duty, and hence the reason why the minor mode, I think, fits so well with it. So let's just go back again, and we'll just go over the melody, and let me just sing the melody exactly as it would be sung, keeping to the time. Let me just do it exactly in the key as well. Michael Falls, Jerusalem, Jorst die Atem full marisk, es charonjach ganaulige, yang Okay, so I think it sticks pretty close to that melody as such, but what it does change a lot is the note values, especially round this area here, where you've got the 8th notes, and sometimes in Gaelic psalms you skip very quickly over these. The other thing that people tend, and I don't know if you've noticed, when people sing this in churches on the island, they tend to not sing, give the full half bar to here. Okay, the half note. They tend to da 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 da. They don't do that. Da 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 da. So they change this note here. But that's not what it is. It's and I think maybe that is a throwback to the way the Gaelic's done, because in the Gaelic version of it, you're not really holding these as much. Okay, so but the pitches of them are held. So the pitches of them are very, very close to the Gaelic psalm on there. So anyone else got any questions? Yeah, Davin, she's got the solfa. So if people are interested in the solfa, you can do it solfa wise. But like I said, these are just signpost notes. The important thing really is that you use them, but you add your grace notes to it. So again, let's just go back. And this is just the way that I do it. Another person could end up doing it completely different. So, Michael Falls, Jerusalem. So if you're doing it in English, that's the way you would sing it. The Lord's my shepherd, I'll not want. But very rarely would you sing that tune to the Lord's my shepherd. But Gaelic, Michael Falls, Jerusalem. That's quite a common way of doing it. Marish es charoniach anal the presenting line. Es charo onyach anal presenting line. Yangus anoyen hashkia angurasanu yanash da 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 da. Okay, so I'm doing a lot of singing tonight. Anyone got any questions? Elizabeth, it is a lovely tune. I really like it. Okay, so that's the words. Let me sing it. The words are up. I don't know if you can actually see these words very clearly, because that's as big as I can actually get it on here. Es charoniach anal geit, es charoniach anal geis gangus nuyen hash Okay, so anyone got any questions? Let's see. Okay, Dolly watching. Okay. So, Davin, are you a fluent Gaelic speaker? Can you do the Gaelic psalms, traditional wise? Do you know this tune? Could you send me a recording of yourself doing it? Because I'd really like that. Just to hear people who know the tune just sending a recording of themselves doing it. Especially if people are actually doing it slightly different. Because I think one of the things that I found, it's good to know the basic melody. But I think the danger with dwelling too much on it is that sometimes it can get totally embedded in your head, and you find it really, really hard then to release yourself and be free. So as you're singing it, you should be really adding your own grace notes to it, and maybe just going through it just bit by bit. So just the first part. Let me just get the pitch. Let's go up a tone from that, which probably I'll be right for Gaelic psalm. Himachal fos Jerusalem, and then change that to Himachal fos Jerusalem, and just work on that so you're getting the tune. Himachal fos Jerusalem, and you're changing that to Himachal fos Jerusalem. Okay, so see what anyone else has got. Aye, Davin, so is it just the English? It's just the English tune that you know. You don't know the Gaelic version of it. You haven't used the Gaelic versions in church, but know the tune from the Free Church in England. Are you talking about, though, being sung in English, not in Gaelic? Is that correct? Okay then, well, I think that should really do us tonight. And as I said, I'll do another 2 workshops. The last one that I'll be doing will be on October the 6th. And I think what I'm going to do is for the next 2, I'll just focus on martyrs. So that over these 10 weeks, I'm hoping that you'll have got a wee taste of Gaelic psalm singing. And for those of you who are not Gaelic speakers, and are still quite keen on me carrying on doing this, then maybe we could come back to it later on if there's a real interest shown. The numbers are down tonight, I've noticed, but maybe that's because Boris is speaking to the nation, and who knows. But thank you all so much for making this such an enjoyable experience, being with you. And as I said, there's so much that we can talk about with regard to Gaelic psalm singing. And there is no substitute for being together in the room, singing it together. It's very artificial doing it across the internet, but it is a way of maybe people getting an idea at least of what Gaelic psalm singing is about. And some people will find it easier than others. There's no doubt about that. But so hopefully, God willing, next Tuesday at the same time. And if you know of anyone that's got an interest, please ask them to come and join us. And if anyone wants to send me a recording of themselves doing martyrs, I'd be more than happy. So meantime, stay safe, and until we meet again, every blessing to you. Hula Pianach.